Hello friends, I am Gaurav Galan from Roadizer.com and today I will be reviewing the Celkon Millenia Epic Q550. This smartphone is available at Rs 10,500 and we shall decide whether it's worth your money or not by judging it on these 10 factors. We will give the phone a rating out of 10 for each of these 10 factors and see whether the overall rating is decent enough for you to go ahead and buy this one. Let's begin with the specifications part. The phone is powered by a 1.3 GHz MediaTek MT6582 processor and it has 1 GB of RAM. On the display side we have a 5.5 IPS LCD HD display which is quite vibrant, edge should be visible in the video right now. Talking about the camera, we have a 8 megapixel shooter at the back which can record 1080p videos, while a 2 megapixel camera at the front. The front camera doesn't have face detection or any fancy stuff, but the rear camera has face detection, beauty mode, panorama mode and all these stuff which we are pretty used to nowadays. The phone packs in a 16 GB of internal storage and it can be expanded with a micro SD card of up to 64 GB. So you can have about 80 GB of memory on this phone, which is pretty good. The phone runs on Android 4.4.2 stock version and it is bloated somewhat by a lot of bloatware applications which have been installed by default, and you can't uninstall them unless you root your phone, of course. So we'll judge that in the software part. The unique point of the phone perhaps is the 8mm slim design and the fact that it still manages to have a 3500 mAh battery which provides a decent battery backup. The only problem we have faced till now with slim devices like the Xiaomi eLife S5.1, S5.5, etc. is that these devices sacrifice the battery backup for their slimness, for their slim design. But this doesn't seem to be the case with the Celkon Millenia Epic, nor does it heat up like many other slim devices we have used so far. So at this price point, these are pretty decent specifications, and we have started to actually see better specifications at these price point from Indian manufacturers and other Chinese manufacturers like Xiaomi is bringing the Redmi Note for a price of Rs 9,000 and still the phone has 2 GB of RAM and an octa-core processor. So keeping that in mind, we shall give the phone 8 out of 10 and proceed to the second section, that is the design of the phone. Like I said in the specifications part, the USP of the phone probably lies in the fact that the phone is 8mm slim, and that really helps in the looks of the phone. On the right hand side we have this second SIM slot. The phone supports micro SIM cards, and beneath the micro SIM slot we have these volume rockers, volume up and down buttons, and just beneath it we have this power button. The positioning of this power button is actually pretty useful for a smartphone of this size. You don't have to reach out your thumb too far to reach the power button, and it's located at the center right of the smartphone. On the back side we have a subtle branding of the Celkon, and then the 8 megapixel shooter along with the LED flash is present at the top. On the bottom side we have this nice looking speaker grills with tactile dots on either end. On the left side of the smartphone we have this micro SD card slot, and above it the first SIM slot. On the top side we have this headphone jack only, and on the bottom side we have a hole for the microphone, and then this USB port for charging and for connecting it to our PC. The really nice thing that I liked about these SIM and micro SD slots is how they are opened. On smartphones like these, in which the back cover is non-removable, we are used to see SIM holders which are pulled out by entering a pin or something, but in this case we have these tactile dots. If we press our nails on these tactile dots, it opens up from here, and then we can put in our micro SD card and fit it right back. So that's pretty nice designing strategy out there. I hope that other smartphone manufacturers pick this up. On the front side we have this 5.5-inch HD display. Below it we have these 3 capacitive buttons. I think Celkon could have done away with these, like we see on some smartphones. We have only the on-screen navigation buttons. At the top side we have this microphone, speakerphone for calling. Just on the left side of it we have this front camera, and then on the right to the front camera we have the proximity sensor, and on this edge right here we have a notification LED which notifies us of low battery, any incoming calls, or any notification that is pending. So on the design front, the phone looks pretty nice. It is really light, and the first thing actually you feel when you hold up this phone is the weight of the smartphone. The smartphone just weighs 143 grams, and it's really lightweight and easy to grab and hold. And despite its 5.5-inch screen size, I can manage to reach my thumb over the farthest left top edge, and so it will manage to get some good scores in this design segment. I will give it a 9 out of 10 here. Now let's get to the display part. The display looks pretty nice even when the phone is turned off. It has a kind of feel we get when we have Moto G. The display is pretty black even when the display isn't turned on, so it is difficult to judge where the display starts from when the display isn't on. That looks cool, to say the least. When we turn up the screen, we see some really vibrant colors, and 720p resolution is really usable on a 5.5-inch screen. The display has decent viewing angles. The colors stay true. We don't see negative colors or anything like that from any angle. The maximum brightness of the smartphone isn't too high. It might get difficult at times to use it in high sunlight, say during the month of June, July, when the sun is at its best. But still, the display is pretty good when we compare it to other 720p resolution smartphones in this price category. I compared it with my Xiaomi Redmi 1S, and the display of the Redmi 1S, despite its same resolution, pales in front of this one. So this phone will score good marks for the display section too. It will again get a 9 out of 10, which is pretty good. Getting to the camera part, we can turn on the camera pretty easily thanks to the KitKat lock screen widget. We will just slide to the left here, and this is the camera we have. As we can see, the camera is just okay for a 8 megapixel shooter. My Redmi 1S camera looks better at times than as compared to this Celkon smartphone. I'm shooting this video with the Redmi 1S itself, so you can see the quality of the video here itself. Talking about the camera of the Celkon Millenia Epic, I shall upload the camera samples and video samples separately, so you can judge for yourself the camera quality of the smartphone. Personally, I will give this phone a 7 out of 10 for its camera. It certainly could have done better in this segment. Now, talking about the speakers we have at the back of the device. Though the speaker grill looks quite wide, the speakers are clear but they aren't loud enough. I mentioned that in the unboxing video too. Let's try playing a song. You might not get the full idea about the audio of this device from the video, but I can tell you from my personal experience that these speakers are clear but not loud enough. So here we have Google Play Music. I installed it myself. It wasn't installed by default.
I'm gonna pick up the pieces and build a Lego house. If things go wrong, we can knock it down.
Like we can see, these
My 3 words have to
don't sound too loud, not loud enough even.
it's so boring.
It would be possible for you to increase the sound of these speakers or install some sound modes if you decide to root the smartphone, but unless you are a power user, you will have to live with these. We will give a 7 out of 10 to these speakers just because they are clear. This phone loses some good points here for its not so loud speakers. With the 1 GB of RAM under its belt, the smartphone performs pretty well when you are multitasking between even 5 to 10 applications. It doesn't show any lag or anything. Like we have this bunch of applications open right here, and we can swap between them without any problems. Chrome browser, it doesn't come pre-installed, I think. Then we have Opera Mini. As we can see, all these applications are running at the same time, and this phone doesn't forcefully kill them to free up RAM. Let's take a look at the free RAM we have right now. We saw in the unboxing video that this phone had around 625 MB RAM when I hadn't installed any user application on it. With just stock applications, it had around 625 MB RAM. Now I am using it as my primary device for the past few days, and let's see how much RAM we have available now with a bunch of applications running in the background. As we can see now, we have around 370 MB of RAM, 365 MB to be precise, and that is pretty decent amount of RAM. With a bunch of services and applications running in the background, that is some good RAM we have here. If we clear up these running applications, we might be able to free up more RAM. And here we have got, oh, actually the RAM decreased right now. That's funny. The company, the Celkon installed this Clean Master application by default. Let's see if it can free up more RAM. Let's give it a memory boost. It freed up 45.3 MB RAM, and now we have how much? 641 MB RAM is filled up. So we have around 400 MB free RAM on the smartphone. That's good enough to run games, etc. We shall discuss that in the games part, which is the next one. So in the multitasking segment, we will give this phone a 9 out of 10. We aren't actually used to see 2 GB RAM at this price point, so with 1 GB of RAM and a stock Android version, most phones perform in the same way, and Celkon Millenia Epic doesn't disappoint here. Let's get to the gaming section. I have installed a bunch of games, none with a game data of over a GB or so, but I have installed pretty heavy games like this Can Knock Down, Cut the Rope, Time Travel HD, Dead Trigger 2, Plant vs Zombies. The phone came pre-installed with Modern Combat and Spider-Man, but these are actually just demos from Gameloft, and you will be able to play these just for 3 minutes or so, I think. I have been able to play games on this phone without any lags or anything. Let's try playing Can Knock Down for a demo. As you can see, the game loaded up pretty fine, and here we have the shit. And now the game will begin, and as we can see, I can play this game without any lags or anything, so that's good. Let's try playing another game. Plant vs Zombies 2. It comes from EA. EA had actually acquired this company called PopCap Games just for this game. I had played this game a few hours back, and it's still paused from that point. Let's pick this son up and kill these zombies. I have played this game for quite a few minutes, half an hour or so, and the phone doesn't heat up or anything, so that's a plus point. The phone can run heavy games without any major hiccups or lags, so if you are a gaming buff, there shouldn't be any problem with this phone. And another thing to notice is that this phone doesn't heat at all, even if you play games for half an hour or so. That's the maximum I have tried. I am not really a mobile gamer, so pardon me for that. So for the gaming and heating part, we will give this phone a 9 out of 10, you say. Now, moving to the battery segment, the 3500 mAh battery of this smartphone is one of its USPs, as I mentioned before, and it doesn't disappoint at all. If you are a heavy user and spend all your day on your phone, the battery will still last through your day easily, and I mean hours and hours of screen time. Then if you are a moderate user, then the phone should last you 2 days easily. Here we have the battery stats. You can see that it's been 4 days, 12 hours, 30 minutes that I have been on battery. I've charged this from here, and this is the discharging time. You can toggle whether you want to see the battery percentage in the status bar or not from here actually. So the battery doesn't disappoint, and if you like traveling or something like that, then this should be a great reason to buy this phone. So the battery will get a 9 out of 10. On the software side of the phone, we have a totally stock version of Android 4.4 KitKat. Let's show you the about phone screen. Here we have the Android version 4.4 and the popular KitKat Easter egg. Celkon has added a few bloatware applications which I didn't like at all, like this Celkon Care, Celkon Games, Celkon Live, Clean Master, Kamal Dhamal, and Mobo Genie, Modern Combat, OLX, and a few of them that I have installed, that I have disabled by pulling these to the app info and then disabling them from here. It would have been really nice if Celkon could have installed these applications to the data partition so that the users who didn't like or use these applications frequently, they could have uninstalled these, but unless you are rooted now, you won't be able to uninstall these, and that's very bad thing, I think. One unique thing that Celkon seems to have done is that it has brought the app ops feature that appeared in the Android 4.3 Jelly Bean. And this feature lets you decide which application gets access to which hardware or software part of your smartphone. Like we can see here that 3 applications can modify my contacts. There's the flip call application, True Dialer application, and WhatsApp application. You can decide whether you want to always allow permission to that specific feature, or the phone should always ask you whether you want to allow or not, or whether you are denying the application this permission. So if you are a power user, you will like this feature. So I love stock Android, vanilla feel of the Android really well, and I would have given the phone a 10 out of 10 for the software part, just because it didn't try to mess with the software side of the phone, because Google's version of Android is pretty nice to use and people don't have to learn any new user interface or anything. So, but Celkon really messed it up by installing a bunch of bloatware applications, and I'm not talking about 2 or 3 applications. It's around 10-15 applications that been pre-installed by Celkon and they cannot be uninstalled. So I will deduct 2 points for that thing, and this phone will receive 8 out of 10 for the software part. Talking about the connectivity of the device, I have tried calling and receiving calls on this phone, and the calls are pretty clear, not exceptionally well or something that I will make it a star point of this phone, but you can receive calls smoothly. You won't hear any extra noise or anything like that. It doesn't have any problem with calling, to say the least. Talking about 2G and 3G smartphone, I didn't have 2G and 3G connectivity and the Wi-Fi connectivity of the phone. I didn't have any problem in connecting to either of these. I've tried all of this. It does have the Wi-Fi hotspot option, so you can share your device's internet with other devices and your PC or laptop, of course. So it has all the basic connectivity features, and it will get a 9 out of 10 for the connectivity section too. We aren't really used to seeing NFC or 4G make their way in a smartphone of this budget. So there's really not much more we can expect from a device that's selling at rupees 10,500 in the connectivity section at least. One thing that I missed in all these sections that we discussed above is the video playback of the device. The smartphone can play 720p videos, 1080p videos, and even 2K videos without any major problems. I have sent a couple of these videos now. This is a 720p video. And it plays without any hiccups. Then there's this 1080p video from Tomorrowland. So this was the 1080p video. I can show you its details in properties. So here's this 1080p video. It plays without any problems. And then I tried this 2K video. Now this 2K video doesn't load up with the audio if we try to play it with hardware acceleration, but if you switch this hardware to the software decoder mode, the video plays without any trouble. So that's a quite nice thing to it's a quite nice thing to be able to play 2K resolution videos on your smartphone, though it doesn't make any sense because it won't be any more clear than a 720p video, because the phone has 720p resolution for its screen. But still, it's nice to be able to play these videos without having to convert them on your computer before being able to play it. Wrapping up this video review of the Celkon Millenia Epic, we can say that the phone is a decent buy at the price point. It doesn't offer anything exceptional apart from the fact that it has a decently good battery at 500 mAh in just a 8mm unibody design, but it messes up in the camera section and in the audio section. So let's sum this total and we will see how much this device scores out of 100. And the score totals out to be 84 out of 100, and that means around 8.4 star rating out of 10. I will say go for it if you are looking for a nice screen, good connectivity options, and a phone that gives you the feel and look of a premium smartphone thanks to its unibody design and the lightweightness of the phone. It looks quite premium. If you are looking for a good camera and want to enjoy good quality music, thus looking for a high volume speaker or something of that sort, you might want to skip this one. I will discuss more of the details about this smartphone in the written review of this device, the Celkon Q550 Millenia Epic, in the detailed review on roadizer.com. Find that link in the description of this video. If you have any questions about this device, shoot them in the comment section below, and I will be happy to solve any query you have about the smartphone so that you can make a purchasing decision for your next smartphone. Thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe on this video. Peace out.